Hello everyone, I'm Benita Perkins with Benny Grow Healthy Lifestyle, Branding and Communication, and I also work with Durham County Public Health in employee wellness. And today our topic is weight loss plateaus. I think it's an issue that's near and dear to a lot of folks who have, you're losing weight and all of a sudden you can't lose another pound. And there's, hopefully this webinar will give you some tips on how to jumpstart and get back into that journey of weight loss and feeling better and better health. Benny Grow Healthy Lifestyle focuses on healthy lifestyle programming with a particular interest with women of color to deal with the health disparity issues that we face. And so anyway, this conversation is right up that alley. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and hopefully you can see it. 7 ways to deal with a weight loss plateau. I know you've been doing so well with your weight loss. Early this year, you made a conscious decision to reduce the amount of food you eat, reducing your calorie intake. And you began an exercise program that got your heart rate up and allowed you to burn calories. You've been working both ends of the pole, have lost weight and gotten smaller. Now your weight loss progress is at a standstill, even though you're still plowing ahead with your new lifestyle. You've hit a weight loss plateau. I hate when that happens. Now, definition of a plateau is you stopped improving at something. During the first few weeks of losing weight, a drop is typical. In part, this is because when you initially cut calories, the body gets needed energy by releasing its stores of glycogen. Glycogen is a type of carbohydrate found in the muscles and the liver. Glycogen is partly made of water, so when glycogen is burned for energy, it releases water, resulting in weight loss. But this effect can be temporary. Actually, the plateau is not a bad thing. It's probably telling you that you're smaller, so your current food consumption and exercise output are able to maintain your current size. Your metabolic rate slows down as you lose weight, but what's really happening here? One study, including more than 2,900 people, found that for every pound of weight they lost, they burned 6.8 fewer calories on average. So that's part of it, that when you're smaller, initially, when you cut calories, the body gets its energy from the released stores of glycogen. And at some point, your metabolic rate slows down as you lose weight. So you're not burning as many calories as you were when you first started. When you lose weight, it takes fewer calories for your body to operate because you've reduced your energy requirement. Also, our bodies are made to adapt to changing conditions to keep us alive. When we eat less, our body eventually learns to survive on less. When we exercise more, it eventually learns to sustain energy levels without having to go to reserves. So here's 7 reasons that we're going to go over for why you might be going through that plateau. Stagnant exercise routine, too much exercise, not eating for a smaller you, not eating enough, body shock, fuzzy math, lack of sleep. All of these reasons are about shocking the body to do something that it's unexpected. These events that we're going to be talking about keep the body guessing and consequently maintain or increase its energy needs. Rejoice that you're going to the next level. Let's talk about stagnant exercise routine. When you start a new exercise program, your body responds by losing weight because it's required to make many changes to adjust to different workloads. Your muscles are rebuilding themselves, and this consumes a lot of calories. But at some point, your body will stop adapting to the new workload because, as we talked about it gets used to it and is able to maintain that workload without having to work real hard or burn extra calories. And consequently, as it adapts to the new workload, you will burn fewer calories for the same activity. Don't let your body get used to the exercise. Maintain your body's adaptation period by either changing the intensity of the exercise, maybe doing more intense pieces to it that require you to work harder, the duration, or maybe exercise a little longer, frequency. Maybe you want to do more of the exercise. Maybe you're only doing once a week or twice a week, increase to 4 times a week. Mode, and I think this is the most important, the mode of exercise. So trying to do different things. If you're doing, for instance, let's talk about that real quick. Maintain your body's aptitude. In other words, if you burn for 300 calories working on the treadmill at the beginning of your new exercise routine, your body will eventually adapt to that, becoming more efficient enough that the number of calories you burn doing that same workout drops. So instead of burning 300 calories in a half hour, you might only be burning 200. Here, let's talk about, again, changing routines. So I like to think about maybe doing a Zumba class, maybe doing a HIIT class, maybe doing something that's going to make your body work a little differently and, call on different muscles, and it's going to allow your body to have to work harder to get those same results. So maybe you're swimming one day, you're doing a HIIT class, you're on the treadmill, you're doing a Zumba class, maybe you do a bar class, applies, like all these different things keep your body trying to figure out what's he or she going to do next. And I got to get ready and I got to be able to maintain that, so I'm going to burn more calories. Too much exercise. I've heard this complaint many times. I've had kick-ass clients who could definitely withstand harder workouts than I could endure. And I would do whatever I could to figuratively kill them. And they would come back for more. These clients weren't losing any more weight, and they were almost at peak athletic condition. Certainly, exercising more was not the answer. When you exercise too much, there's a point of diminishing returns when an increase in exercise energy expenditure is negated by an equal decrease in non-exercise energy expenditure. In other words, when you increase your exercise intensity, your body responds by decreasing the amount of calories you burn during the day. Now, I would say this is for someone who's, we talked about before changing up your exercise routine, and that's in a normal situation. But then you have folks who are, out here doing a HIIT class every day, going hard every day. And that is when your body starts to get into survival mode and says, I'm going to really start to retain or maintain my reserves so that I can, do stuff later on during the day. And so your body just gets very used to trying to basically preserve itself. And you start burning less calories in those situations. Again, when you're working, that's an extreme situation. If you're in this category of extreme exercise, and I know there's folks who love to exercise, and then there's folks who hate it, but those who do, here you go. Take time to recover if you're in this category. This is a great time to take a break for a few days. Try something like yoga or stretching or walking. And after you've gotten yourself back together for those few days, get back to exercise, but lighten up your original routine and increase your intensity only as necessary. And I think you might start to see that your body's like, okay, she's giving me grace, or he's giving me grace, he's not killing me, so I'm going to start using more energy to sustain life, so to speak. Strength training. Muscle burns fat, and losing muscle mass, which, by the way, is part of the aging process, means burning fewer calories. Resistance training promotes the retention of muscle mass, which is a major factor influencing how many calories you burn doing activity and at rest. Resistance training seems to be the most effective type of exercise for weight loss according to some studies. Lean body mass uses 5 times the calories as fat. So if you lose it, your metabolism drops and your weight loss slows if you lose that muscle mass. If you're spending most of your time on the treadmill, step off and grab some weights. In a 12-week study, obese women who followed a low-calorie diet and lifted weights for 20 minutes daily experienced an average loss of 13 pounds from their waistlines and from their weight. 13 pounds and 2 inches from their waistlines. If you're already using weights, periodically use heavier weights that can shock the body into working harder. Maybe every 6th weight training session, move to heavier weights for your workout, and then at the next session, go back to your norm. Eating for a smaller you. Remember that a smaller you needs less to survive. Keep your calories slightly below your maintenance levels so that your energy and metabolism remain high. And here's kind of the math behind it. And these are just general assumptions. For men, the typical requirement is 2.2, your body weight divided by 2.2 times 24, which is calories per day. And so for a 5'5" woman who wants to maintain 145 pounds, that would relate into 1,515 calories per day. Now, this is a general assumption. Some people naturally have faster metabolisms. Some people naturally have slower metabolism. So really listen to your body. But this is about the approximation to think about in terms of the weight you want to maintain and how much you're eating. If this woman targeted her weight to 145 pounds, again, 1,515 calories should be about her target per day. If you're plateauing, check that you've reduced your calorie intake to match the requirement to the new weight level. See where your eating regime is taking you. Again, note that genetics plays a part, and you may need to target less calories or more calories depending on your genetics. It is not advisable to go below 1,200 calories per day. Not eating enough, skipping meals. I tread carefully in this area because technically the less you eat, all else being equal, the more you should lose. Common discussion is that if your body does not get enough food, it goes into survival mode by breaking down muscle tissue to fuel and it stores fat in preparation for starvation, which slows the metabolism. So if your body's not eating in a normal pace, it's going to start to reserve fuel, store fat, and break down muscle to keep you alive. The body's always about, how can I keep this person alive? This is a short-term response and can definitely hinder weight loss. Here we're talking about the bad habit of not eating during the day and saving all the calories for dinner or one meal a day. Over the long term, the equation still stands that if you output more than you input, your body loses weight. The issue here is that starvation weight loss is not sustainable over a long period of time, unless you have an eating disorder, which is unhealthy and a whole nother conversation. Suffice it to say that eating too little food or eating infrequently is not enough. And I like to talk about, in the morning, I know I'm not a big breakfast eater, right? But I try to have maybe a slice of apple, half a muffin, and not even that, but I'm putting something in my body that it now has to metabolize, so it doesn't believe that it's starving. And that is what you're trying to do when you're trying to get rid of this reason as a reason for why you might be, at a weight loss plateau. Avoid fuzzy math. It's common to overestimate calories burned and underestimate calories eaten. Look for places where calories may hide, like dressings, spreads, sauces, croutons, and condiments. Do you taste while cooking? Do you finish what the kids leave on their plates? Do you absentmindedly grab handfuls of nuts, chips, or candy? You might try keeping a detailed food diary. Body shock. And here's what you want to hear, but again in moderation. Some experts believe that breaking away from a regimented eating schedule for a few days can re-stimulate the metabolism by providing proteins and energy to build it back. Since the body is used to less calories, the weekend hamburger or French fries will shock it into working harder to stay in balance with the normal diet. This can provide a psychological break from the stress of a strict eating regimen, and come Monday you go back to the good girl or boy eating regime. So if you've been eating, say, 1,300 calories of healthy stuff, like lean meats, vegetables, fruits, complex carbs, and progress has stalled, maybe eating a slice of pizza, a burger, a dish of ice cream, or some item you've craved but have put off limits is actually a great way to continue the weight loss. This is a short-term phenomenon to make the body work harder. Again, the body wants to stay in equilibrium, so now as you put this short-term, introduce these additional foods that's not used to, these calories, it's going to burn harder because it's trying to stay at whatever weight you had on Friday, so it gives the body the impetus to work harder to get the weight off, or at least burn the calories, to burn the calories. This is a short-term phenomenon to make your body work harder. Again, resume your eating habits the next day. Some people use the weekend method. They eat real healthy all week, low-calorie, healthy meals, and then on the weekends they have fun. A slice of pizza, a burger. Again, but here, please understand, portions are important. So you can do it, but you can't have 3 hamburgers and 5 slices of pizza, and then, I mean, that's going to sabotage this whole body shock process. So body shock, to eat something you like, but in portions, in knowing what makes sense. Portions always matter. Lack of sleep. If you're getting insufficient sleep or rest, your body again goes into survival mode by slowing down your metabolism to preserve energy for survival. Sufficient sleep is an individual requirement. 8 hours is recommended, but some people thrive on 6 hours, and some people can't function with less than 10 hours. If you've tried everything else and the weight loss is still slow, try getting an extra hour of sleep. And don't look to friends or families for a sign when you might hit that plateau. Our bodies are all different, so they'll react to diet and exercise in different ways. People plateau at different points, and it just really depends on your body. These are just, this weight loss plateau is frustrating, but hopefully one of these options will ring true to you, and you'll say, you know what, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm only eating, I don't eat breakfast, or I've lost weight, but I'm still eating the same amount of calories every day, or, just different things to consider when you're trying to get around this plateau. And I truly believe one of these options will work. Feel free to reach out to me, bperkins@dconc.gov or benita@bennygirl.gov. And here's my number. I love feedback, and I hope that this information was helpful. I'm going to stop sharing here. And I'll see you next month. Bye, everybody.